Hi, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Wow, have I missed you guys. I got so much to tell you. But before we get going, I want to take a moment to thank our friend Linda very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. I have not made a video in some time, and that's because there's been so much going on in our lives, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about all of that. But if you remember the last video I did, I stated I believe Donald Trump to be a narcissist. There were so many great comments, and thank you all very much for that. I am going to be revisiting that subject really soon, and I really look forward to kind of discussing my findings. It's been a bit of an ongoing research project, and yeah, I've got a lot to share with you. But first, I want to tell you guys what I've been up to for the last month. First, my little jewelry business has really exploded on me. Sales have far exceeded what I thought they'd be, and in fact, I find myself struggling to keep up sometimes with all the other things that are going on, but wow, has it been doing great. And just to bring you up to speed, I am still working with a group of local artists. We are actively looking for a location, and I think we found one to start an artist incubator, so that's just going really great. When you first get free from the narc, it feels like you are never going to restore your life. It feels like those things that you were once passionate about are gone and gone forever. And I felt that way about the jewelry. I really did. I was scared to death to get back into the business. I had come to believe that I was just too old. My jewelry sucked. All of it. Like, I bought it all. And as it turns out, well, that, like everything else that came out of that piece of shit's mouth, has been an absolute lie. I have been able to restore my career. We are moving on and working on developing additional shops. So all of that's going great. In fact, I feel better about the jewelry now than I ever have. Maybe because it was taken from me. Maybe because I had to fight a little to get it back. Maybe because I had to push myself a little bit harder than I was comfortable with, but it's all worked out great. So honestly, if there is something that you've been wanting to reconnect with, just do it. Just do it. And I mean, what's the worst case scenario going to be? It doesn't work out? Well, in that case, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? I'm absolutely delighted that I had stepped up and done that one thing that I felt like I could never do again. As you guys know, I told you my long time beloved friend Scout did go missing on New Year's Eve. You know, I've remained in constant contact with all the dog rescue organizations here in Vallarta, and as a result of Scout going missing, I've made a lot of really great friends, and I've been helping out with dog rescue. In fact, there was a photo posted about a month ago, right after I made that last video, and this dog was in grave danger. It was a street dog living on the streets in a neighboring community called Bucerias. The dog was a wreck. So my girlfriend Julie and I volunteer. We decide, hell, we'll go find him. Looking like he's got mange. We got to take some protective sort of stuff with us. And we don't believe we're actually going to be able to find him, though we're both completely willing to go look because, you know, a Mexican street dog's pretty smart, and if he doesn't want to be caught, he's not going to be caught. Bucerias is about 30 minutes from Puerto Vallarta, and on the drive out there, Julie and I thought, you know, it was a bit of a needle in a haystack, but considering the sight of the dog, I mean, that was the photo that was introduced to Julie and I. We knew we had to try, if nothing else, and, you know, would feel okay knowing we had at least tried to save him. Well, needle in a haystack for sure, but we found him. And not only did we not have to chase him down, he surrendered. He just came and threw himself at our feet. It turned out great. We got him safely into Julie's vehicle and we rushed him immediately to the vet. The condition he was in implied to us that he wasn't going to survive much longer without immediate medical attention. Now, it was my initial idea to foster him. I was intending to foster him, and of course we got to the vet. He was in dire straits. He was covered in thousands of ticks, so we weren't at all surprised when he tested positive for Lyme disease. Fortunately, he did not have distemper, and that was great, but he had infection all through his ears, all through his jaw. His teeth had fallen out. Many of his teeth were missing. The infection was very high risk of spreading to his brain had it gone, you know, unattended for much longer. He had infection in his joints and all through his neck. He was very sick, and what we initially had thought was mange was not mange at all. It was actually infection running out of his ears and all down the front of him. He was really a mess, but halfway through the vet visit, I changed my mind about fostering him, and I adopt him on the spot. This is a photo. The next photo is of him and I leaving his first vet visit. Before Christmas, I said all donations to the channel will go to helping street dogs, and let me tell you guys, your donations made it possible for him to get the medical attention he needs. He's been on loads, I mean bag loads of medication for well over a month and will be for some time. He's still quite high risk, but is healing incredibly. So if you ever wonder, you know, if your donations are making, you know, a difference in these dogs' lives, just take a look at the next picture and see the crazy grin on his face. You can see from the photo and from his beautiful face that he's a golden oldie. Hi, Gary. Say hi to everybody. I love you too, Gary. I love you too. Oh, he's a beautiful dog. He's about 12 years old. Say hi to everybody, Gary. Oh, darling. He has been such a good boy. Gary would be dead today if not for the help. And yeah, I'm so glad I adopted him. God, he's been such a good boy. And I also want to let you guys know that Marley did get the 2 surgeries. The second surgery did result in some involuntary movement in his back legs. There is a new pilot program here in Vallarta the family's running. They had a long lap pool that they didn't use, and because so many dogs are hit by cars in Vallarta and so many dogs become paraplegic, they thought they would start like a swim therapy program. The vet put us in touch with these people once the involuntary movement started. And as it turns out, they took Marley. He is the first test case in this pilot program. And he's going to be living with this family for several months. We see him regularly, but he's doing great. And his circulation is so much better. So, you know, the threat of amputation to his lower limbs is gone now. I mean, it's just going so great. I can't thank you guys enough. Last but not least, the one that I thought was Lady from the movie Lady and the Tramp, well, she's turned out to be the Tramp. My goodness. Oh, she's getting to be a big girl. Oh, my dearest little heart. Yes, I just love her. Now, I asked you guys for some name suggestions, and there were so many great names. I did get an email from a friend here at the channel who told me a horrible story about a little dog who looked a lot like her. The narc in her life had poisoned her little dog, and yeah, asked me to name my little dog after that little dog, and that little dog's name was Sam. So her name is Sam, and she's teething, and oh, she's been great. My goodness, she has been such a caregiver for Gary. She absolutely dotes over Gary. She hugs him, she kisses him all the time, and yeah, wow, has Sammy been a good girl. That's Sam and Gary and Marley, eh? Yes. Guys, thank you so much. Been real busy over the last month taking care of Gary. I mean, there's all kinds of issues that come up with dogs that have been homeless their whole life. Gary has the first collar he's ever owned around his neck. He's got his first food and water bowl for the first time. Gary had to learn how to walk on a leash. Gary doesn't know how to fetch a stick. He doesn't know how to catch a ball. Gary didn't speak English. I mean, he is, after all, a Mexican street dog, and most of the communication, you know, that was being directed at Gary was shooing him out of garbage and things like that. So Gary had to learn how to speak English. Many times in videos I've suggested that if you're recovering from narcissistic abuse and you can get a dog, well, get a dog. Go adopt a dog. I'm telling you, having dogs in my life has been incredible. They love unconditionally. They are so forgiving. It's just absolutely amazing. And just having that companionship. You know, I live with my sons, but, you know, they go out to the nightclubs at night. They're coming in at 4 in the morning. They're, you know, going off on dates or taking girls out dancing. And quite often I am home alone, and having these dogs in my life has been incredible. 5 years of narcissistic abuse and 3 years out, and I've got to tell you, my life has changed so radically. I'm not going to suggest that I made any major changes, except for the fact I did move back to Mexico. I do recognize that's a pretty big one. But as far as restoring my career goes, honestly, it was like one small step at a time, and the ball is rolling. As far as, you know, really embracing my desire to work in dog rescue goes, I just did it. You know, I laced up my running shoes, I went out with my friends, and we just started running fields chasing down dogs. And, you know, it's just been going absolutely great. I don't feel like I did anything extraordinary except do what I had to do, give myself a chance, cut myself some slack, and really try and distance myself from all of the verbal abuse. I mean, it was that was weighing so heavily on my heart. It was that was causing, you know, all of my self-doubt. And when I really got that in perspective and really did realize that those things that were being said to me, being said about me, were just simply not true, you know, it kind of gave me the strength and the courage I needed to move on. Guys, I've missed you lot. So we have been under a bit of a narc attack here at the house. I was not the target this time. It was one of my sons, and I want to talk to you guys about that in the next video. Sorry, the street is very noisy at this time of day. Anyways, it's the coolest spot I can find. Winter's over in Mexico. We are definitely moving into spring, and the temperature's climbing daily. Anyways, I've missed you guys lots, and I truly hope you're having a wonderful narc-free day. As always, thank you for standing by me, and I really wanted to introduce the dogs to you and let you see, you know, how I'm able to put your donations to work, and how together we have been able to make some very sad, very desperate, very hopeless street dogs very happy. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you soon.